To understand the structure of human consciousness, modern thinkers rely heavily on a 17th century philosophical trap, Cartesian dualism. We are trained to separate the biological machine, the flesh and bone, from the ethereal mind. 500 years earlier, a 12th century Indian movement known as the Lingayats developed a completely opposing framework. They concluded that physical flesh does not obscure divine truth. The body is the exact biological mechanism required to process it. This approach relies on somatic epistemology. It treats the human nervous system, physical sensation, and cellular biology as the primary laboratories for acquiring absolute knowledge. When we evaluate indigenous mysticism through a Western dualistic lens, we sever the intellect from the anatomy. That separation strips the human body of its spiritual agency, reducing profound physiological disciplines to abstract poetry. This text, Vachana 58, belongs to Akka Mahadevi, a 12th century mystic. The physical medium dictates its logic. Carving onto an oligari, a dried palm leaf, requires a continuous circular script so the stylus doesn't splinter the grain, mirroring the recursive structure of her philosophy. Vachana 58 operates on a strict thesis. It provides a sequential, step-by-step algorithm designed to map localized human biology directly onto infinite cosmic reality. Vachana 58 provides the structural blueprint for a metaphysical architecture designed for execution by the human nervous system. The algorithm boots up by defining its initial variables. It isolates the localized human soul, the Atma, and aligns it with the 5 cosmic elements: earth, water, fire, air, and space. Those environmental particles do not remain external. They fuse directly into the physical infrastructure, restructuring the human anatomy into 6 distinct limbs. This network is the Shatstala. It represents a 6-stage hardware upgrade, preparing the biological system to process cosmic data. By pulling the elements inward, the algorithm bypasses the need for an external temple, a priest, or a distant deity. Establishing the body as a construct of pure cosmic material permanently erases the border between the human subject and the universe. The organism and the environment share the exact same code. With the hardware in place, the system identifies 6 cognitive faculties: feeling, knowledge, the active mind, the intellect, memory, and the ego, known as ahamkara. Standard ascetic practices demand the destruction of the ego and the suppression of thought to achieve enlightenment. This algorithm rejects that constraint, choosing to elevate the cognitive functions instead of destroying them. The text maps these abstract mental faculties directly into physical hands of offering. Thought and ego are weaponized, transforming intangible cognition into direct physical agency. The ego does not block spiritual realization. In this framework, the sense of self acts as the precise physical tool required to interact with the absolute. To feed data into this system, the 5 physical senses are converted into environmental gateways. The text refers to these intake valves as faces. Raw environmental stimuli, every sound, texture, and form, are converted into dravya, or liquid offerings. The sensory data is then routed downward, poured continuously into a massive, pulsating core located in the chest. The Kannada word used here for the body is kaya. Etymologically, kaya translates to an unripe fruit. The biological form begins in an immature state. As the sensory gateways constantly offer data to the internal core, the system undergoes bigalodene, a swelling and locking. The biological organism physically ripens, expanding under the pressure of complete fulfillment. Human sensation acts as the essential nutrient. The nervous system must consume and process environmental input to biologically ripen the soul for ultimate realization. Under the weight of this continuous sensory offering, the complex, 6-limbed physical network collapses. The limb stages subside, leaving exactly 3 foundational pillars of existence. In the first transformation, the physical body ceases to be a vessel and assumes the role of the ultimate guide, the guru. The 2 remaining pillars follow suit. The vital breath becomes the absolute reality, the linga. Pure consciousness detaches, becoming the dynamic, wandering God, the jangama. The biological machine has completed its algorithmic transformation, internalizing the roles of the temple and the guide within the practitioner's own anatomy. The system reaches its final output when the perfect alignment of senses and cosmic data triggers the total dissolution of the biological ego. This MRI scan displays parietal quiescence, a drop in activity in the brain region responsible for orienting the body in space. When deactivated, the brain loses the capacity to draw boundaries between the self and the environment, resulting in a profound feeling of infinite expansion. Centuries before functional imaging mapped the brain, Akka Mahadevi recorded the exact neurophysiological mechanics of ego death in her somatic poetry. The resulting state of the mystic is called nishunya, the absolute plenum. It rejects the negative, empty void of Buddhist philosophy in favor of a positive, all-encompassing fullness. The text reaches its climax by placing the mystic in a state of absolute superposition. The practitioner is neither a knower nor ignorant, neither a dualist nor a non-dualist. This infinite awareness embodies a dense, formless absolute. It contains all existing data and the absence of all data simultaneously. Akka Mahadevi's system uses the specific constraints of human biology to pierce the boundaries of human logic and access the absolute.